Hi, this is Zadel and welcome to part 7 of our 8-part series as we look at the 7 factors from the millionaire next door. What separates the wealthy from the not so wealthy? If this is the first time you're joining us, may I suggest you definitely go back and look at the past videos we have filmed, because each video and each factor builds upon itself, and I think you're going to need all 7 to make it work in your favor. Now, if you watched the last video, you will recall that we talked about the 10 factors, if you will, that the wealthy use when talking to their children about their money, or how best to communicate it with them, because they understand the dangers in giving children massive unearned wealth, and how they bring up their children and prepare them for the handover is very important. Now, if you've worked long and hard for your money and you have children and you want that to last, I suggest you check that video out. This lesson, as I said, video 7 of 8, is that the affluent are proficient in targeting marketing opportunities, or what they call finding your niche. Now, recently we've had the famous train robber, Mr. Biggs, pass away in Brazil. If you saw the media stories, apparently on his coffin he had his flowers arranged in the old two-finger salute to the authorities, defiant to the end. However, one of his famous quotes, he was interviewed and asked, "Hey, why do you rob banks?" And he said, "Well, that's where the money is." And the affluent understand this in talking about targeting market opportunities. If you want to do well in business or investing, it's a good idea, like Mr. Biggs, to go where the money is. And that means affluent people and affluent companies. Now, you can target these things and do well, and the affluent know this. So what does that mean? Well, you should target the affluent, absolutely. You should target the children and the grandchildren of the affluent, and even more valuable, you should target the widow and the widowers of the affluent as a part of your investment strategy or business strategy or whatever you plan to do. Now, in terms of specifically what this means, the authors in the book go out on a limb and they name some certain industries or professions or whatever that they think will do very well. Now, of course, you can do well in any area, in any field, and it's all relevant. However, they did find some trends through all their studies. So I'm going to list some of them now up here on the board, and you can see how this fits into you. Now, of course, right now you're going to say to me, "But Stuart, when it comes to spending their money, you said the affluent were frugal, frugal, frugal." And that's true, particularly of the self-made affluent. Of course, taking into account the previous videos that we have recorded. But you know what? These people are not frugal on certain products and services. Things like professional advice, legal advice, accounting advice, healthcare, dental care, certain sorts of travel when it comes to their children and grandchildren. And there's a whole host more. They own businesses. They are significant purchasers of industrial products and services. And vacationing, I'm going to go through some now and you can check this out. So first and foremost, they do say anything to do with, so I'm going to say it's finding your niche. So niche means areas to specifically concentrate on. So they certainly say law and solicitors, that sort of thing, but in specifically 3 key areas. One is income tax, the other one is estate planning, and the third one is immigration law for the wealthy. So let me cover them. I read a survey or a research report done by Westpac, one of Australia's big 4 banks, and it said the single biggest transfer of wealth in our history has begun. As the baby boomers have moved through society, they're now at retirement age, they're handing over their businesses, handing them down, selling them. Many of them are passing away, in fact, depending on the lifestyle that they've lived. And so this transition is massive. Now, if you are of a profession that can help in that transition, how best to handle the transition of those assets to the people, dependents, or where they want it to go, in a tax effective manner, you should do very well. Second thing is income tax. Now, we've got governments drowning in inescapable debt all around the world, and you can bet as they go down, they're going to be looking for more money, which means more taxes, and they're probably going to target the affluent, the people that have it. Of course, you can't get blood out of a stone. If poor people ain't got it, there's no point getting more out of them. So with that, if you can legally help the affluent avoid increased taxes or make decisions that put them in a more advantageous situation, again, from that point of view, you should do very, very well. The third thing is immigration. Now, one of our experts on stage last year quoted the number of wealthy Chinese that were leaving their country, and just under 40 million of them, extremely wealthy, their desired destination was Australia. That's over, can you imagine, over 40 million wealthy Chinese people are looking to emigrate to Australia right now. Why? Because they're not so sure what their governments are going to be doing moving forward as they get in trouble financially. And some of them don't have the greatest history in being compassionate, shall we say, with their citizens' rights and when it comes to money. So if you can, the wealthy, make no doubt about it, the wealthy worldwide are mobilizing, they're mobilized and they're moving. They are moving their assets outside of countries that are going down, and there are many welcoming countries out there. So again, if you can help with this information, you can do very, very well. The next thing that can do very well is health and dentistry. The wealthy do not skimp when it comes to health, and they're not confined to minimum government public standards of health and all that sort of stuff. They'll pay private, they'll pay the best. Dentistry, whole lot of stuff going on as they retire. Their appearance is important to them. Their teeth, cosmetic dentistry, big part of life as well moving forward. Now I'm going to go into, under medical care, I'm going to quote from the book here, page 220 on mine. Goes into dentists, cosmetic dentistry, including bleaching, bonding, veneers, invisible braces, sleep issues, nasal issues, corrective jaw surgery. Plastic surgery is big on their list. Dermatologists and skin conditions, allergists, psychologists, psychiatrists, goes down to chiropractors and other alternative health type people as well. Huge areas as well. The next part to talk about is what we call asset liquidators. Asset liquidators. So again, any of the key assets that the wealthy have will be big. So people that can help with, man, the wealthy, they own mineral rights, they own forests, they own farms. The affluent own coin collections and stamp collections. If you're an appraiser or related to some of those fields, you're going to be in big demand and should and could do very well. Now, real estate's big, always is big, will be bigger. The wealthy are, they're downsizing, they're moving, they're lifestyling, they're sea changing, they're tree changing, they're all these sorts of things. Now that their working lives are coming to an end, they want to do stuff. Now, of course, they're also helping their children into property as well, which is big. And in fact, I thought it was interesting, they're actually getting their children into bigger mortgages than the children want, because they're giving them bigger deposits to buy bigger houses. So again, anything to do with real estate, remodeling, renovating, developing land is big. Design, internal design, you know the people I mean. The interior designers is what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much. Okay, great. So that's a good idea to focus on as well. Travel and vacationing, particularly when it comes to their children and grandchildren, is a very big area as well. If you can provide experiences there for the family, you can do very well. I'm going to throw one more in, not listed in the book, but I think it's huge, and that is food, and specific sorts of food. The wealthy want better health, and they're wising up that the quality of the food we're getting may not be the best. So there's an explosion going on right now. Have you noticed in superfoods, super herbs coming in everywhere, super quality in vitamins, organics, and of course restaurants in general. Now, top restaurants make a fortune. Not even the healthy ones, just the standard ones do wealthy. So there's some ideas. Now, you might think, yeah, but Stuart, I'm not in a profession in one of those areas. No, you don't have to be. You can invest in them through companies or stock markets or joint ventures and a whole heap of things, but it's the principle you want to get. Now, when it comes to investing, of course, as Warren Buffett says, if you don't understand a business and its products and services, Warren Buffett says, I advise inactivity. This is Stuart Zadel.